Yo, what up? Sorry for the very late start. I dragged a Commander game on a bit too long, and then I needed to, like, recover from the mental exertion of playing a very long Commander game. But I won, so it was all worth it. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Path of Exile. I saw Fletcher in the Discord talking about their Path of Exile experience, and I was like, you know what? Maybe Poisonous Concoction is good again. And it might be. Where's this acupuncture map looking? Alright, we'll get into that in a moment, but yeah, I guess as a quick start for folks who haven't played Path of Exile before. Also, my voice is a little gone, just a little bit, but we'll be all right. We've got music. Your voice sounds raw. It doesn't feel that bad, but I definitely exerted it a little more than I should have. I'll be fine. We're just gonna play this for, you know, around 2-ish hours. Were you barking? A little bit. It may sound raw, but at least it doesn't sound WWE. Oh, I get it. Okay, Path of Exile. It is an ARPG, similar to Torchlight or Diablo or anything like that, but it has some weirdly complex mechanics. It's a little overwhelming for new players, but if you're brave, it's not that bad, really. But you gotta be brave. Surprised your voice got hurt. Yeah. I don't know why it's as worn out as it is right now. I don't know. I tore a voice muscle, I guess. I had a stroke looking at the balls grid. It's a sphere grid, thank you. Alright, let's go ahead and switch on over. It's easier to show than to tell. Nice. Now's your chance to be a big shot. Be a big, now's your shot. Okay. I'm going to skip all tutorials. So, point and click to move. Pretty basic. Inventory. Weapon, shield, gloves, boots, belt, shirt, hat, rings, amulet. The usual. It is very Diablo-esque. So I'm going to grab this bow, I'm going to equip the bow, and I've got attack assigned to left click. I'm going to talk to this guy. And he's going to be like, oh man, stuff sucks around here. And then the zombie's going to kill the zombie. And then I get a gem. Here is like the core of the mechanics for play Diablo 3 when you were 8 or 9. Oh god. So this is like the core of the game. If I move Spotify real quick, please let me select Spotify. So down here we've got some ability slots. So we've got left click, middle click, right click. Is it not showing my mouse? There it is. Left click, middle click, right click, and then court. And you can assign abilities to each of these. But what abilities? I only have default attack and move. Well, if I socket this gem into one of these colored sockets on my weapon, then I gain that ability if it's an ability. So Burning Arrow fires a burning arrow that deals fire damage and has a chance to ignite. And then it has some stats. So physical damage converts to fire damage, chance to ignite enemies. That's all like the specific numbers stuff. But the basis is in the greenish text there. So we're gonna put the gem into the socket. I now have a skill. So now I can use right click to fire a burning arrow. So we go over here, and you can break crates and so on. So right click, fire burning arrow at enemies, get more loot, put on some gloves, basic stuff. One of the big things about Path of Exile, let me just, hang on, is this the actual game that is being played right now, or is this a fake source? That's a fake source. Where's Path of Exile? So I can show the flasks. They're in the corner. So I have this one bound to mouse 5 because I don't want to reach all the way to 5. But these flasks are like potions. So you've got life flasks, recover life. Mana flask, recovers mana. Self-explanatory. But you regain flask charges when you kill enemies. You can regain flask charges in a bunch of other ways. But generally, you just refill your flasks when you kill enemies. Yeah, like the newer Diablos, yeah. Fit to screen. There we go. So there are other flasks that do stuff, like there are some flasks that will increase your movement speed. There are flasks that will give you temporary, like, elemental resist. And now here is, like, one of the biggest things about the game, that it's like, it adds on to the whole gem system, and that is support gems. So, oh right, it shows you which skills it can support now. That's fancy. So, supports attack skills that aren't triggered, which is like a skill that you choose to press the button and use, rather than a skill that is activated when you meet some kind of condition. Right? So gain 1 momentum when you use a supported skill, and it can support my burning arrow. Gain 1 momentum every 0.7 seconds while channeling a supported skill, if your skill is channeled, which is just like you hold the button and it keeps doing a thing. Lose all momentum if you move. Supported skills have increased attack speed per momentum. When you reach 3 momentum, lose all momentum and gain swiftness for 1.5 seconds, and swiftness grants 15% move speed per momentum lost. So if you stand still and shoot, then you gain attack speed, and then if you move, you gain a bunch of move speed. And that's like the big thing about the game, is you find different gems that will support other gems. So it's like you'll generally have one primary skill and then a bunch of gems that support that one skill to make it really good. And then you've got a couple other skills that are like, you can have auras, you can have a skill that'll just be like a dash in a direction or something like that. So nothing super complex thus far. Like it's a lot of it is pretty straightforward, as long as you're just like, you're not put off by the concept of like having to socket in your skills. It can be a little annoying because you have to socket gems into the right colored slots, and sometimes it can be a little annoying to find the right colors of slots on your gear. So like here, these wool shoes have 3 blue slots. But a lot of my gems are probably going to be green. So these boots aren't as good for me in that regard, but I don't have boots yet, so they're still handy. Yeah, it's kind of like Materia. It's very like Materia, actually. Materia is a great point of comparison. Unfortunately, it does have identify scrolls, which I was never a huge fan of mechanically. So this hat gives me some energy shield and some fire resist. Great. These boots give me some fire resist. Oh boy. I ain't never gonna worry about fire damage again. And then the sword is so here's the intimidating part. Do not be afraid. Alright? I'm gonna open up a thing, and it's gonna seem like a lot, and it's kind of a lot, but it'll be fine. I got a skill point. I'm gonna open the skill tree. So here's the thing about the passive tree in Path... zoom in! In Path of Exile, this is like... The biggest things about Path of Exile are the gem slots, and the passive tree. Well, the classes are gender locked because the classes are a specific character with a backstory and lore and a personality and all that. So I can understand that aspect of it. It's still a little weird, but... So, the thing about this passive tree is that every class shares the same passive tree. So, I'm playing as a ranger, and the ranger starts down here. The duelist starts down here. Marauder starts over here. And, like, where you start on the passive tree generally represents what kind of abilities you are interested in, or, like, what kind of stuff that class is likely to be better at, because they will just naturally have easier access to stuff like that. Now, you can easily have a build that starts over here and then goes way the fuck over here. It's not that uncommon. And that's like the high-level build crafting shenanigans. I don't actually have a ton of build creation skill. I usually just find a cool build online and follow it. And I still have like almost 2,000 hours in this game, so there's no shame in it from my perspective. But one of the cool things about this game is probably not going to come up within the scope of this stream, but there's a bonus passive tree that like you have a selection of one of 3 ascendancy trees, and those will like kind of specialize you a little bit more. But you only have a couple of points to spend on that tree. And those are the things that, like, classes will have specific access to that no other class has access to. But yeah, so, like, theoretically, the Scion, which starts dead in the middle of the tree, could do anything, but their versatility will sometimes result in, like, not being as good as some other classes. And there's some other nonsense, and a lot of that we don't really have to worry about within the scope of the stream, but yeah. As for the passives themselves, let me bring up my little... What? I need to bring up the thing that tells me where to put my points. So the skills themselves are generally not super complex. Let me scoot this. There we go. Some of them are more complex than others, but there's a lot of passive nodes that are just increased projectile damage, increased accuracy, and then a little bit of attack speed, projectile speed, projectile damage, increased maximum life, chance to avoid being stunned by anything, regenerate some extra life if you used a life flask recently. So, like, up front, it's not super complicated to just know what any individual thing is. It's when you start getting, like, a lot of passive points that you need to allocate, and then how they interact with your gear and stuff, that's where a lot of the intricacies will happen, and that's what makes this game really cool. I can see why you have 2,000 hours. You foof! I am a foof, I'm sorry. So, Dan asked, what build am I playing? I'm playing Poisonous Concoction, which is a build that I like a lot because it is a weapon. It is a build where you do not use a weapon. Our percentage is additive or multiplicative. So there are 2 different kinds of percentage increases, and they will happen in a different order. So, increased life is just like a percentage multiplier to your life. However, let's see if there is I don't know if there is a more life effect. There are. Okay, so here's an example. So increased, all of the sources of increased damage or increased life will all add together. However, there is increase and there is more. And that's it. It's just 2 words, and there's an equivalent for reduced. It's reduced and less. But more applies after increase. And that's it. Like, that's it. You add together all increases, and then you multiply that by adding together all of the more effects. Alright. There's a lot of nitty-gritty when it comes to this game, but again, it's a lot of it is just upfront nonsense, and then once you grasp the upfront nonsense, then it's not too bad. I would like Caustic Arrow. Yeah, more is super valuable, but much less common. Do I have access to the thing already? Explosive Trap? No. I don't remember when I actually get access to Poisonous Concoction. I think it's not super long from now. Oh, right. So, purchase items. This coral amulet costs an Orb of Transmutation. I just sold that magic item for alteration shards. Instead of money, you get consumable items that you can use for various things. Oh god, yeah. So like Orb of Transmutation, an Orb of Transmutation, you can use one on a normal quality item, so a white item, you know, basic. And if you use the Orb of Transmutation on a white item, it becomes a magic item, so a blue item. It only gets a couple of modifiers, but that's okay. Yeah, that's another thing is, like, all of your currency is crafting items. But your crafting items will generally give a random effect. So when you turn an item into a magic item, you don't get to choose which modifiers it gets. It just gets 2 random modifiers, or sometimes 1 random modifier. And then if you use a different item, an Orb of Alteration, then that will randomize the modifiers on it. So you have, like, my boots give me increased fire resistance. If I use an Orb of Alteration on it, then it might give me move speed instead. Or it might give me extra life, or it might give me all kinds of different things. There's an item that upgrades magic items into rare items. And there is an equivalent, there's a similar item as the one that randomizes things that will it will randomize the modifiers on a rare item instead of a magic item. And there's just a bunch of those that you will encounter over the course of playing the game. Some of them are like super rare, and some of them are much more useful than others, and those are usually the ones that are more valuable. So like one of the most basic forms of currency is a Chaos Orb, and a Chaos Orb randomizes the modifiers on a rare item. And that's all it does. But, like, how useful it is compared to how rare they are and so on kind of just determines what they are worth in terms of, like, trading to other players. Yeah, actually, like, trying to craft a really good item requires a lot of mechanical nonsense. Woo! I think I have crafted a decent item a couple of times, but not many. Crafting items is hard and very expensive compared to just buying the item that you need from other players. And that's another thing that I generally enjoy about playing Path of Exile. I like playing Path of Exile with other people because I like comparing my progress and stuff, but also it's nice when you have, like, other people who are playing different kinds of builds, so they will need different kinds of items, and so the items that they don't need, they can just put in a shared storage with the guild, and then, you know, hey, I don't need any of these uniques. Here you go. I'm putting them in the stash in case anyone wants to use them. Most of my most powerful builds in Path of Exile have been in part due to Lawyer Dog or Rand just giving me a bunch of currency to spend. Do I go... Hello, Fletcher. How's it going? I need to go to the island. I should also equip these cool flasks. And also this belt. And this ring. Ooh, increased physical damage. Ooh, adds physical damage. These gloves are cool because if you sell an item that has a red, blue, and green linked sockets, like all three of those sockets are linked together. See, there's a little bridge. Then you get a orb that will let you change. It will re-roll the colors on the item, which is super handy. Oh, it's free? Yeah, Path of Exile is free. There are some quality of life things that you can pay for, like extra storage space, but there's not really... I don't believe there is anything that you can pay real money for that will make your character more powerful. It's just usually it will make your experience slightly better just by having more storage, because you get a lot of fucking items in this game. You can also get cosmetics and stuff. Oh, I could get my cool cosmetic setup going. No, what is it? Cosmetics. I'm going dog mode. Wow. Doesn't have the tail, unfortunately. I think there's only one tail cosmetic, and it's not very good. I can also get wings! Woo! I think they're too obtrusive. But I've been playing this game for a long time, so I've got a handful of random bullshit. Character effect. What does this do? I glow a little bit. Great. I can have a cat. Woo! What's your helm? It's the Soul Keeper Vizier helm. It's like an Anubis thing. I can have the purple portal effect. Ooh. I can have the Soul Keeper Vizier portrait frame. Ooh. I don't have any other bullshit cosmetics. I can have purple footprints. Whoa. I can make my weapon bloody. Whoa. Now you can really tell I've put money into this game. Yeah, without cosmetics, like the premium cosmetics that are, like, There are a couple of ways to get cosmetics without paying money. Like, sometimes Twitch will give you, like, a free little mystery box. Oh, God. And stuff like that, but a lot of the best cosmetics are, you just pay a little bit of money. And usually if it's, like, I got this outfit from a bundle that also came with a bunch of microtransaction currency that I then spent on additional storage space. Because extra storage space is super handy. You want to be stupid? Oh, yeah. Well, if you want to look dumb, then not using cosmetics is generally your best bet, because I generally think, especially at, like, throughout the leveling process, your character will often end up looking like a fucking dork for a long time. Is this a new league? This is the... It's not a fresh league. It's been going since, like, late December or something like that. It's the Affliction League, I think. I just haven't played it at all, so... I don't actually know when the league ends, but I don't know how much I'm actually going to be playing it, because I've got a bunch of games that I'm playing right now, but... Oh, God. No! Deathless is over. I usually don't play... I don't, like, party up with other people, usually, because it's super easy to just, like, really outpace other players. But I could invite you to the guild, I think. Pretty sure we've got space in the guild. Guild invite. What is your... I don't know if I need, like, a username or a character name. Are you currently logged in? The Twisted Burrow. Underscore. There you go. You now have access to the guild stash. If I don't know if anyone has played this league. If there is stuff in the guild stash, just be considerate. Yeah, there are different kinds of builds to play. I don't know what this is. I'm clearing the fog of war. I'm getting wisps. Yeah, some builds will focus on just, like, clearing all of the regular enemies in a map as quickly as possible. Some builds will focus on just, like, being super good at killing bosses. Or just, like, being capable of killing the super difficult endgame bosses. Some people will just do their own thing. Like, oh, my build makes 1,000,000 projectiles a second, but it also dies if anything looks at it funny. It's gonna take a minute to kill this thing, huh? Was I supposed to be walking around more? It's unclear. Give me the orb. You want maximum defense and nothing else. There's one build. It used to be like much more niche, but it has gotten a lot more accessible. It's called Righteous Fire, and what it does is it uses an ability that sets yourself on fire and deals damage to yourself and nearby enemies based off of how much health you have. And then, oh god, let me out of here. So it takes that skill and then just stacks a fuckload of health and armor and reducing the damage that you're dealing to yourself and getting a gigantic truckload of health regen. So you just walk at enemies until they drop over dead. It's a fun build. It's a little slow, but it's fun. Yeah, I think I need to like keep walking around in order to explore the space. Because I'm noticing that like... Oh. The path that is traversable is the path that I walked around in. Yeah, it is... Righteous Fire is an ancient build, but a lot of things that they have released in recent times and like balance changes and stuff has made it much more playable. Instead of just being a weird fringe niche thing, it's just a real build now that people actually play if they want to do well. Yeah, Flicker Strike is another really fun build where Flicker Strike, you teleport to a nearby enemy and hit them. And then, if you have Frenzy charges, which can be generated in a variety of ways, you will instantly remove the cooldown on Flicker Strike and do it again. So what you do is, you build around having a ton of ways to generate Frenzy charges.
_Greytree gifted a tier 1 sub to Floatrand. They have given 64 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you very much for the gift sub. You generate a truckload of Frenzy charges, and you just teleport. You flicker around, like you just teleport to the nearest enemy and hit them over and over and over and over very quickly until every enemy on screen is dead. The late game just doesn't feel fun. Late game as there we go. As in, like, mapping, or just, like, getting further into the story, the campaign. Ow. These enemies are hurting me so bad. Woo! Orb of Regret, let's go. Me when I reinstall Path of Exile. Give me another quiver, I guess. I'm getting currency from the darkness. Primal Wisps. Monsters empowered with Primal Wisps have damage reduction, more crit chance, additional crit multiplier, and a chance to drop additional currency items based on the number of wisps you had when they were empowered. Wild Wisps. Monsters empowered with Wild Wisp have damage reduction, additional projectiles, more area of effect, and more item rarity based on the number of wisps you had when they were empowered. Ah, I see. You collect the dust and it makes enemies stronger but drop more juice. I see. Probably won't download it until classes cool down a bit. That's reasonable, because it's very easy to just lose track of an entire day playing this game. Ah, the wisps are also a currency. I see. Hey, medium life flask. Love to see it. I should probably buy some of this garbage. Equip a magic flask. Whoa. Scroll of Town Portal. Whoa. Gain mana per enemy killed. Additional life. I don't have any way to socket my Caustic Arrow if I don't... Well, I'm not really using the support that much anyway. So, equip that, equip that. Shuffle things around a little bit. Great. Wasted a Saturday playing Tetris versus matches? Hell yeah. On what, like Tetrio? Effect, nice. Every now and then I'll think about getting back into Tetris mode, but they just need to release a new Tetris game or something. So that way there are more people playing, so I'm not just up against killers all the time. Yeah, like even Tetris 99, like it is rare nowadays for me to get a win in Tetris 99, even though I am decent. Because a lot of the people that are still playing Tetris 99 are quite good. You mean like Puyo Tetris 3? Yeah, something like that. Is that a thing? Is that coming out? So this enemy just keeps reviving nearby skeletons. Please. I beg you. Please, to be dying, thank you. Ooh, a rare. And a magic bow that has two linked green. I should have identified the amulet first. Oh well. Yeah, this bow. The bow that I currently have is way better. Doo-doo-doo. Is Dr. Mario just Puyo Puyo? No, Dr. Mario's different. One of the big things about Puyo Puyo is like being able to drop in like the pieces separating, but the pills in Dr. Mario, unless you clear half, then the other half does not drop, which creates very different board states. I think one of these bozos went running off in this direction. No, maybe not. More attack speed. Woo! So one of the first quests you get access to in the game is killing every enemy in this area, but because some of those little skeleton dudes will just like do a charge attack and then miss and keep on running, sometimes you will end up with one enemy remaining, and it's just one of those guys that ran off and didn't come back. I never actually played Meteos, but I've heard great things about it. Puyo Puyo Tetris Puzzle Fighter. A new puzzle fighter would be interesting. It's been a while. Hey, what does my flask do? Increase charges, grants immunity to chill and freeze when you use it? Hell yeah. That is super handy to have early on. It's one of the most lethal things in the game for a long time. Well, one of the most lethal things in the game in general is just getting frozen. Help. Oh, empowered. A maul. I don't need a maul. I'm not even gonna need this bow for that much longer. As soon as I get Poisonous Concoction, it's over for this bow. So, Poisonous Concoction is a weird skill. You need to have an empty main hand, and you throw an explosive flask that starts to deal chaos damage over time, or it deals poison damage. I think poison is kind of its own thing. It's weird. You poison enemies that get hit by it, and the amount of damage that you deal with it is based off of how good your life flask is in the first slot. So if this flask is really good and heals me for like a ton of HP, then the Poisonous Concoction skill deals a truckload of damage. Yeah, it can be frustrating to be locked out of an equipment slot, but for me, I kind of like being locked out of an equipment slot because that's one less thing that I have to worry about optimizing when I start getting into late game shenanigans. Because I'm bad at crafting gear. Lawyer Dog's over there crafting gear worth, like, multiple divines. I'm over here ruining a pair of boots. Ooh, double empowered. That means he has increased chance to drop currency and increased item rarity. Look at that. It's nothing! Damn it. Oh yeah, the plot of the game is this place that we are currently in. It's called Rayclast. And it is like it's like a whole island nation thing. It's Australia. They send the prisoners here when they are exiled because they don't want the prisoner around anymore. So it's fantasy Australia. Yeah, and then you go back and you kill them all. You could kill them all. And if you, like, it's weird how, like, you get so much extra lore for doing the super endgame stuff that very few people will ever accomplish. Because it's like, one of the very difficult endgame bosses, Cyrus, when you fight him, the boss arena that you are fighting him is, like, your endgame. It is the area that used to be the hub for the endgame. And over the course of fighting him, he is just basically destroying the entire country. And then once you beat him, then the plot is you go back to Rayclast because Oriath, which is the cool place that you got exiled from, is just razed to the ground. Thought this game had no plot? No, it's got plot. Of course it's got plot. I would love a Quicksilver Flask. Thank you. Pierce, chance to poison. Volley. Fires additional projectiles. Is Volley good? I think Volley is good for Poison Conk, right? Yeah. Oh wait, do I want chance to poison more? I mean, I want both of these, probably. Yeah, no, I want Volley. Do that. Hello, Bestel. Here's your thing. Hello, Tarkley. Riposte, Puncture, Bear Trap, Sniper's Mark. None of these are quite what I'm looking for. Sniper's Mark? I don't know. Dash! Hell yeah! Give me a movement skill, baby! Alright, so I've got a Quicksilver Flask. He gives me increased move speed when I use it. I also got a book that gives me 2 respec points. Woo. Increased mana regen, lightning damage to attacks, accuracy rating, evasion rating, max life, regen life, dexterity. Damn. Stacked. I guess I'll put on a shirt. Maximum life, let's go. And let's put an orb on my flask. It grants immunity to I should not use an alt on a medium flask. This is gonna get replaced pretty quick. Oh wait, what game got traded for another game you had? Put all this garbage away. Give me Volley, and then Caustic Arrow, and then we'll put these other garbages into the garbage where it belongs. Tetrasphere? Ah, bummer. Got a new scroll, let's go. I should assign Dash to Q. So I now have an ability that it has a cooldown, but it lets me do that. Wow. No, there's a pulsing tuber. Oh god. I hit the wrong button. Darn it. If you die in the hole, you die in real life. And then you're not allowed to go in the hole again. Oh no, it's the Blood Princess. So now that I have the volley support on my caustic arrow, I fire 3 caustic arrows. And I believe they do slightly less damage, but it is more than compensated for by having more. I'm live high, I'm quick die, was sent to the void. They died at position 1 on the ladder. Godspeed. You're gonna see that a lot. I was being sent to the void, a common occurrence. I don't even know what it means. Scroll. Oh, I mean, I know that notification shows up when a hardcore character dies. I just don't know what them being sent... Like, I don't know if they were sent to the void as a message has any meaning. Like, I don't know if it's a special thing where it's just like, oh, if they are killed by this certain effect or something. Have you played Hatress? Yeah. It's annoying. Alright, let's go in the hole again. Let's do a better job in the hole than we did last time. There's mosquitoes in the hole. Level up. I encountered, like, nothing in the hole. This is so sad. I already got that, so give me some life. Yeah, I gotta learn what's up with the league mechanic. So going into that hole and going into the dark place is a unique thing to the current ongoing league, which is a temporary game mode where they usually run for like 3 or 4 months, and you start fresh. Everyone starts fresh when a new league starts, so you have access to none of your stuff in your stash or anything like that, and then you get to engage with a new mechanic. And sometimes those mechanics will be introduced into the base game after the league ends. But the new mechanic is usually something pretty cool that will, like, introduce new things that could matter for your build or stuff like that. It's pretty neat. I enjoy the league style of like ongoing game design kind of stuff. Because, like, especially with Path of Exile, just, like, sure, I could just, like, play standard and use any of the, like, ridiculous amount of currency worth of items that I have gathered up over the course of many leagues, because once the league ends, all of your stuff and all of your characters just get turned into standard characters, which is just the permanent game mode. And it's just always there. But usually I find it much more interesting to play the league and start fresh and try and work my way back up. Man. I don't remember what quest gives Poisonous Concoction. And I want my conch. Orb of Chance. Orb of Chance is a funny item. You use it on a normal quality item, and it will turn the item into a magic item, rare item, or unique item. And there are some items where, like, the base item, just like a normal quality item of a specific type, just like Iron Hat or something, sometimes those end up kind of valuable just because people will use truckloads of Orbs of Chance on them to try and turn them into a unique, because the unique that it gets turned into is dependent on what the base item was. So it's like, if the unique item is an Iron Hat, then you need to use an Orb of Chance on an Iron Hat in order to have a chance of getting that item. Alright, we're getting some wisps. Oh god. Ooh! There's a thing here. Oh god. Game is lagging a little bit. Get me out of here. Ooh, large mana flask. Exciting. Yeah, trying to get unique items from Orbs of Chance is not a great plan. The likelihood of getting what you want is just so astronomically low. Oh. What are you? Grime Slink. Ow. Nope, stop. Throwing frogs at me? God, she's so tough. Be careful of a line of purple flowers, I will keep that in mind. Usually if I see something that I am unfamiliar with, I will try to avoid it in this game. There are a lot of things that can just kill you very quickly. Boots? Nice. Robe? Magic item iron ring, though. Ooh. All kinds of magic items. Give me the Heart of Oak. Increased maximum life, chance to avoid being stunned, and regenerate extra life if I've used a flask recently. A life flask, specifically, but still quite good. +1 maximum energy shield. Wow. Regenerates life per second? Love that. Increased mana, lightning resist. Still better than the other ring. What about the boots? Increased armor? Sure. Alright. Got a rare hat. No, I'm too dumb to use the hat. I need 23 intelligence. This is so sad. It's a decent hat. Gives life regen. Alright, I feel like I would have seen anything else that was around, but maybe there's some extra juice. Yeah, there's a little bit extra juice over here. In order to wear the thinking cap, you need to have thoughts. Couldn't be me. Ooh, Detonate Dead. That's a fun one. So, like, there are some skills that require you to have corpses nearby, but there are other skills that will create corpses. So there's a lot of situations wherein, like, even if you were just fighting a boss one-on-one, there are ways to make effects that care about, like, killing enemies and such, make those still work. Like, oh, this enemy is super resistant to lightning damage, even though my build is based on lightning damage. Oh, well, there are a bunch of ways to increase how much of your damage penetrates their resistance. So that's a pretty common one of, I'm just going to stack up a ton of resistance penetration. And that's usually just a great way to increase your damage in general, because most enemies will have at least a little bit of resistance to any given damage type. But also, yeah, it can reduce them to negative, so it's never bad to have. Alright, I got a big mana flask in there. But also, my current mana flask cures freezing. So let's do this. Keep the old one around. I'll just switch them around a little bit. Hey! Orb of Alchemy! This turns a normal item into a rare item! Huzzah! Ooh, Armorer's Scrap. That increases the quality of a piece of armor. Quality will usually just increase the base values of the item. So, like, an iron hat will give you, like, 10 armor. But then, if you increase the quality, then you can, like, if you give 10% increased quality, then it will give you 11 armor instead. Ooh, Spark. Wow. I'm mostly just interested in, like, finding rares and identification scrolls right now. Ooh. This totem is a boss! Does a bunch of lightning shenanigans. Oh god. Ow. Oh yeah. It costs fewer items that increase quality to increase the quality of lower rarity items. So if you know, like, if you have an item that you're gonna do some, like, crafting shenanigans on, then usually one of the first things you do is increase the quality of the item. But yeah, there are ways of increasing the quality above 20%, which is usually the maximum. There are ways of getting around that, but that requires endgame nonsense. When you start getting into, like, optimizing an item and just making the item as good as possible, then a lot of the mechanics get completely nonsensical. Which is usually why I enjoy having builds that just want to have a lot of unique items. Because there is less nonsense that you are expected to do with unique items. Like one of the only notable things that you can do with a unique item is corrupt it, which will make it so it cannot be changed by most things anymore, but it will have a chance of having some kind of, like, really powerful bonus effect. But also, you could just completely ruin the item, where it's just like, oh, the corrupting it changed the colors of the slots, and now I can't actually use it for the skill that I want to anymore. Or, oh, I just turned it into a normal quality item that is corrupted, so I can't change it anymore. How much do I care about, like, any of this? Not much. Ooh. Alright, let's put away my currency items and then, I guess, these gems. And then sell all this. Right? Yeah, I don't care about any of this. Ooh, I got an extra scroll from getting a bunch of scroll fragments. Ooh. Oh yeah, you can also, like, convert certain kinds of currencies by using the trade interface. So, like, this Orb of Transmutation, if I sell it to a vendor, then it turns into 4 Scrolls of Wisdom. And that's usually just the one of the currency trading kind of thing that matters. Usually, it's not worth it. Ooh, gained a passive skill point for that quest. Let's go. I gained Finesse, increased attack speed, accuracy rating, and increased dexterity. Love that. Alright, what am I doing next? Ooh! I get an aura passive this quickly into the tree? Let's go. You can with tinted currency. There's so many asterisks when it comes to me describing how a thing works in this game. That's why I generally preface it with usually or something of the sort. Well, I mean, like, there's just been a slow drip of more and more endgame shenanigans over the many years that this game has been going. It's been going for over 11 years now, or something like that. It really adds up. Which is why a lot of, even like the very enfranchised players are very excited for Path of Exile 2, which will allegedly be coming out eventually. Because people are looking forward to, like, a bit of a reset when it comes to a lot of the endgame mechanics and, like, redesigning some things from the ground up to make it a little more approachable. And, like, less esoteric. Later, Neo. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, I need to blow up this totem, probably. Yeah, that's why that guy was so tough. Oh yeah, one of the cool things about using effects that deal chaos damage, which my current skill does, and poison is applied as chaos damage. One of the cool things about that is that, in most cases, poison damage will ignore energy shield. And so you can just deal damage directly to their health if they have a lot of energy shield. You think they'll put a tutorial in the sequel? Maybe. There are tutorials in this one. I just skipped it. Yeah, piercing damage. Yeah. Yeah, piercing damage, yeah! You tell him, boss. Ooh, orb, ooh! Rainbow socket. Alright. There's gonna be a green and black skeleton somewhere around here. I think. Alright, the goat is the boss, and the green and black skeleton is just an extra enemy or something? I don't remember. It's been a while. Oh, there's the green and black skeleton. Iron Point the Forsaken. Level up. Orb. Ah, there's also the Goatman. The Fawn. Yeah, don't care about that. Oh god, wheel skeletons. Get me out of here. Where to next? We're going up here. This is the next goal. Charisma. Increased mana reservation efficiency of skills, and increased effect of non-curse auras from skills. So, increased mana reservation efficiency is generally very powerful, because having a bunch of auras all at the same time is really good. And increased mana reservation efficiency is just a fancy way of saying you need to have less mana devoted to auras. Because the way auras work is you activate the aura, and then just a chunk of your mana is dedicated to maintaining that aura. So usually it's like a percentage of your mana is dedicated to that aura, so it'll be like, oh, you can only have a couple of auras because otherwise all of your mana will be reserved. But then you get effects that will increase your efficiency, reservation efficiency. So then it's like, ooh, I can now have an extra aura. Stacking just a truckload of auras is still generally one of the most powerful things you can do in the game. There was a while back where they changed things around to make mana reservation more powerful. And then it was just like, oh, what kind of build should I make? A build where I stack 13 auras and just gain a truckload of benefits from that. So there's an aura that gives you a bunch of armor, there's an aura that gives you a bunch of life regen, there's an aura that gives you a bunch of elemental resist and stuff like that. So just stacking a ton of those would, even if it doesn't increase your damage by a ton, which it can, it will usually at least increase your defenses by a bunch. One of the most powerful auras is one, in theory, you don't really want to need it late game, because, well, what the aura is Purity of Elements, which gives you a bit of resistance to all elements, and also makes you immune to elemental ailments, such as burning or frozen. And so, since I mentioned earlier, being frozen in this game is one of the easiest ways to die. So just having that aura up and just being always immune to frozen is super nice. But also it's like, for the mana that I'm spending on Purity of Elements, I could maybe be doing something more useful if I just become immune to elemental ailments in some other way and just have enough elemental resists from all my gear. But it's also just really nice to have. Just being immune to frozen, copyright Disney. Very good. I mean, you still need to have, a certain kind of build in order to face tank in this game. Am I an idiot? No, I'm a genius, actually. But also, what kinds of defenses you want to rely on will often depend on a couple of different things. Your class will often determine what kind of defenses you like to have, because a bunch of the passive nodes close to where you start on the tree will give you bonuses to that kind of defense. So close to the ranger start, There's some life, but there's also a bunch of bonuses to evasion, which also makes sense because evasion gear, like gear that will give you evasion, will usually have green sockets, and a lot of skills that you're likely to be using with those classes will usually be green, and so on and so forth. I have forgotten to like actually finish this little puzzle so many times. Like, I'll go around, I'll activate the switch, and then I'll just leave, which is not what you're here to do. You gotta touch this thing. Woo! And once you have touched 6 things, you can go into the labyrinth and ascend. Ooh. Yeah, like, if you look at the passive tree, like, usually, like, on the lower half of the tree, you'll, or, like, usually, like, split this way, like, diagonally. You'll find more life and stuff that cares about life down here, and you'll find more energy shield stuff up here. But then over here you'll find a lot more evasion stuff, and then over here you'll find more armor stuff. And there's just like a handful of different kinds of defenses that you'll get extra benefits from on the passive tree. And like what kinds of defenses your build uses is one of the most important things for making it a good build, because one of the most important things about a build is its survivability. Because the end game of this game, like once you've beaten all of the levels and all like the main story, then you start going into maps. And maps are just like an item that you put into a device, and then it turns into like a procedurally generated area. And maps are maps will, when you open a map, it will open 6 portals. And if you die, you are kicked out of the map and you have to use another portal to enter the map again. So you will have, at most, 6 attempts to complete a map. So you want to have survivability, so that way you can complete the map without running out of portals. But, like, survivability is also just a very common thing in this kind of game of just, like, how do you survive? How do you make your character better at not getting killed by the enemy? Because you can really take your time when you're killing the enemies, but a lot of enemies will kill you very quickly. And one of the most common things is elemental resistances. A lot of enemies will deal various kinds of elemental damage, so something that's super important is not dying to elemental damage. Because in most of these games, what will be the case is you can have at most 75% resistance to each of the different, like, main damage types. So fire, lightning, ice is usually the case. But every time you reach a certain point in the progression of the game, in, like, Diablo 2, it was you beat the game on normal difficulty, and then you have to beat the game again on Hell difficulty, and then you beat the game again on Nightmare difficulty. That used to be the case with Path of Exile, actually, but then they just made the story much longer, so now you just you hit the next difficulty once you reach a certain point in the story. And when you go up a difficulty, it reduces your base resistances. Ow. So now, in order to get 75% fire resistance, you will need, like, an additional 40% fire resistance than you did before, because now your base fire defense is negative 40% instead of 0. So, one of the, like, most basic things in these games, and just the most common advice for how to improve your current gear, is just get 75% resistance to all of the elements, and then we'll talk. Because other than that, usually what will improve your survivability depends on your build. So, like, sometimes you're built around a specific unique that will give you, like, some weird effects to improve your defenses, so you need to work around that. But sometimes, you know, sometimes you just want more armor, more life, and things of the sort. Yeah, generally the game will assume that once you hit a certain point in the progression, you are maintaining maximum fire, ice, and lightning resist. Oh. Large flask. Reduced amount recovered. I want that. Large flask. Reduced amount recovered, increased recovery rate. Man, that sucks. Both of those suck. I'll just do this. Cool belt. Increased life flask recovery rate. Love that. Gloves. Adds physical damage to attacks, increased evasion rating, increased life, rarity of items, and some resistances. Love it. We're just throwing those on the ground. Oh wait, that was a magic belt, not a rare belt. That was a waste. Love a scroll. Chainmail tunic. Life regen, armor, energy shield. Maybe. Increased life. Ooh, a bunch of life regen. That's actually pretty cool. Are these boots cool? Nah, they're cool enough. Oh wait. I can't put on this shirt because I need 2 linked green sockets for my current skill. I'll hold on to the shirt. Maybe it'll be cool later. Yeah, the resistances are just a very big part of your survivability in this game. And you gotta care. You gotta pay attention. Because otherwise you will get dumpstered by anything that deals... like, oh no, this enemy cast Fireball and I just instantly dropped over dead. Gotta be careful. Because sometimes it'll be like, oh, this enemy has an aura of fire damage and they are very fast. So they just run up on me and I burn to death. Yeah, you can, there are certain things that will increase your maximum resistances, but even when you are going after that kind of effect, they still cap out at 90%. I mean, one of the biggest problems that a lot of people have with playing this game is just not being tough enough, not being a cool enough dude, and then getting to the end game and then just being popped like a balloon anytime an enemy looks at them funny. Do I want lesser multiple projectiles? Probably. I do. Give me the LMP. Mana Forged Arrows. Never fear. Amy Rose is here. I probably want Void Manipulation for right now. So give me LMP. I don't know if Void Manipulation is better at the moment. Oh, are you gonna give me Poison Conch? No. I need the Conch. Wonder if there's Mana Forged bow builds. Probably. This is the song that plays when Sonic is in jail. And he's in the prison cell where Gerald Robotnik was being kept, so there's, like, crazy scrawlings all over the walls, and you can see the crazy scrawlings later on in the game, during the final story when Gerald Robotnik's last will and testament is being shown. Because I know too much about Sonic Adventure 2. I would love to have a different effect on my large life flask. Increased charge recovery. What if I give you an augmentation orb? Immunity to shock. Sure. None of you have quality, right? Yeah, don't care. Into the dumpster with ya. Still need to draw Sonic Kocha. Aw, yeah, this is happening. Oh yeah, so this is the guild stash. All of these are shared stash tabs. And it's like, wow, Hat. You guys have 20 stash tabs. You think you got enough? The answer is often no. We will usually fill up a lot of these tabs if we are actively playing the League. So some of them can stash just like a ton of certain kinds of items. So like you can store a ton of each of these items. You can store a ton of each of these items, and so on and so forth. Like, you can have one of each unique, one of every unique in the game. But then, there's just a lot of things that we don't have dedicated storage tabs for, so a lot of these generic tabs will also get filled. Should show off a guild hideout. Oh yeah. Can I go? Yeah, guild hideout. Lawyer dog drew a fox. And here's the portal device and the horticrafting station. If you spend 50 wild crystallized life force, you can reforge a rare item with random modifiers, including a fire modifier. And that's endgame crafting shit. We don't care about that right now. Let's go back. Yeah, no, I saw you. What am I doing? Progressing through the story is what I'm doing. Please stop shooting me.
Was too tame for him.
Why does everybody keep stabbing me in the back? I'm thinking of that classic Dark Souls video. I started playing a little bit of Elden Ring last night because I kind of had a headache and I did not want to think about I didn't want to think about JRPG nonsense. Oh wait, my gloves are kind of cool now. I was excited because it's 3 linked green sockets. I mean, that might still be worth it. It might still be worth using a worse item that has good sockets. So that way I can just make my main skill better. Yeah, fuck it. That also means I can wear my cool shirt, so my gloves get worse, but my shirt gets better. So now I have volley and lesser multiple projectiles. So now when I shoot... Now I shoot 5! But yeah, I started playing a little bit of Elden Ring, and I got all of the unique item drops from like half of Caelid, and it's going fine. I feel like... Ooh! Superior Contagion. What I've been doing is I've been like trying to do mostly just focused on incantations, but I never know if I want to like put any resources towards getting better at specific kinds of incantations, or if I want to like do like if I want to like try and do a secondary stat like Faith and Arcane, or Faith and Dexterity, or Faith and Strength, or anything like that. I've mostly just been focusing on Faith, but I think one item that I've been strongly considering like trying to make my main melee weapon for the build is Rykard's boss soul weapon. Meow wow 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 wow. Died at number 1 on the ladder. What's it called? Blasphemous Blade is the Rykard boss weapon, which is like a big cool fire damage weapon that I think it scales off of Faith and Strength. Karma Chameleon fans in the chat. It's been a long time since I've heard that song. Have you tried out the lightsabers? Yeah, the Cypherpata is currently my my primary melee weapon. I don't remember where you get the coated sword, but I haven't done a ton. I think, isn't it in the capital or something? I haven't gotten it yet. Yeah, the Cypherpata are pretty good. Especially if you're going, like, super heavy on Faith. But also, I like punch weapons. They're fun. When I did my playthrough of the Dark Souls 3 Cinders mod, I did a punch build. That was a lot of fun. I've been thinking about checking out the new Elden Ring Overhaul mod. That I think it just got a like 1.0. I don't remember if it was an initial release or a 1.0 release. But FromSoft Total Overhaul mods are often pretty cool. It also seems like people with Elden Ring, people are getting a little more crazy with adding like actual areas and shit, which is very cool. I saw there was a mod that adds an only up section, like, close to the initial spawn point, or, like, where you start the game. Was it... I'm trying to remember who did a video where they, like, they play through Elden Ring with just, like, a crapload of mods installed. It might have been Distortion. I've been watching a lot of Distortion recently. But it may have been someone else, and I apologize if it is. But yeah, there are... Is this progression? I have just been talking. I haven't been paying attention to what I've been doing. I think this is progression. Albino might have been. But yeah, like... like, they had the Horalu moveset when they were unarmed. There was the only up section. There was a ton of just, like, anime armor replacements of just like, oh, when you put this armor on, you're 2B from Nier Automata. There were a ton of One Piece mods. There were so many One Piece mods. There, like, one of the One Piece mods just, like, took over a bunch of the bosses. So, the first major boss, Morgott, gets turned into Kizaru, I think. One of the late game bosses is Whitebeard. And they were like using they were using ripped models from one of the official games, so they looked really good. The animations made them pretty fucked up, like they would morph in ways they were not intended to, but the models were high quality. Stop telling me to come. I shall, when I so desire, and a moment sooner. Locust Mine and Bronze Scepter. Wow. So, the boss fight with Brutus used to take place in this room, which made way more sense. Because, like, the boss fight with Brutus used to have its own room, but now it just takes place in a hallway. It's dumb. I don't know why they did that. Precision, Smoke Mine, Blink Arrow, Whirling Blades. Oh yeah, I can't use Whirling Blades on this build, because I have no main hand weapon. I might be able to use Flame Dash. Do I care about Precision? I might care about, like, a low-level Precision. I think it's the thing I care about the most out of these four. Blink Arrow would be good, while I'm still using a bow, but hopefully I'm not using a bow for that much longer. Yeah, just regular dash is not that bad. Oh yeah, Claire. Why did it just give me precision mines and shit? Leap Slam, Flicker Strike, Blink Arrow. Do I have access to Poisonous Concoction yet? Viper Strike, Cobra Lash, Chance to Poison. Not yet. Does this game support build loadouts? No. If you want... Well, I mean, you have, like, weapon sets, and that's about it. If you want to change up stuff about your build on the fly, then you just need to manually change out the, like, the pieces of gear or the gems, and then you need to have the gems just in your inventory, which is annoying. Yeah, let's get a clarity, because clarity is nice. Yeah, if you want to change your entire passive tree, then no. Technically, yes. Practically, no. What other auras do I care about? Oh yeah, I don't get Herald yet, right? No, no way. I don't have Purity yet, right? No Purity. Withering Step? Oh, I get Withering Step. That's nice. Grants elusive and a buff that grants phasing. While you have this buff, monsters that enter an area around you will be withered. Using a skill or losing the elusive buff ends the skill's effects, shares a cooldown with other blink spells, cannot be used while already elusive. Right, so... what is elusive? I mean, I need it. Definitely don't have access to Plague Bearer yet, right? No. I think Shield Charge isn't a blink skill. Yeah, it's a guard skill, so I can use Shield Charge. Oh wait, no, that's Steel Skin. What? Oh, I'll get it eventually. I need my Poison Conch. You would need a shield. Yeah, I'm switching to Poisonous Concoction eventually. I just don't remember at what level I get it. Ooh, increase level to all fire skill gems. If only that mattered to me. Do. Oh yeah, what does Contagion do again? Unleashes a vile contagion. Great. So that's quality, so I'll put that over there. Precision, I don't actually care about. Withering Step. Pretty sure I want Withering Step to be full level. Yeah, probably. Locust Mine. Supports attack skills that use bows or wands and fire projectiles ahead. Instead of using that skill, you'll throw mines that use the skill for you when you detonate them, targeting your location. Cool. Ooh, large strongbox. One of the fun things about those strong boxes, so when you use a strong box, then it will spawn a bunch of enemies. When you kill all the enemies, the box will be opened immediately. The strong boxes have quality, which means, or they have a rarity, so you can use consumable items that will increase their rarity on them. Which makes the enemies that come out of it more difficult, but gives you better rewards when you kill them all. Which is a very cool thing. Yeah, usually it's not worth it. Oh wait, is this Rat Taxi? Oh, Cheesy Street, right. This has lyrics, so I will skip. Unfortunately. But it makes it hard for me to talk when there's a song with lyrics going. Yeah, only certain lockboxes are good to use items that modify them. But, I mean, you can modify any of them that you come across if you want to. Even if it would be a waste of a currency item to make most strong boxes better, you can. Allowing you to make poor decisions is a common thing in this game. Yeah, like, you can do an item find kind of build in this game, but in most cases, you don't want to do that. Usually you will just want a build that can clear maps faster. So that way, like, if you have a build that has, like, good clearing capability, then you may end up just you'll end up in a similar state as if you had invested a bunch into, like, Magic Find or something like that. Let's change that around so I don't accidentally turn off my aura at some point. Yeah, flasks are a weird thing. They are the only item that has a rarity that cannot be a rare. You can have normal flasks, magic flasks, and unique flasks. No rare. I had forgotten they can't be corrupted, though. Yeah, like, if you're, like, super endgame nonsense and just, like, really optimizing your grind, then Magic Find is more of a consideration. But for just, like... Usually, a lot of people will end up making a dedicated Magic Find character, and then they will have a different character for, like, doing the more difficult content. But, I mean, that kind of stuff. There are some people that will have, like, a starter build of just, like, I'm just going to do this build to get some, like, basic currency and items to make my next character better. And then they just beat the game, ostensibly, over the course of, like, 2 days. And then they just get some currency to start up the next character, and then they just make a new character and do it again, but this time better. Yeah, some people will do, like, support Magic Find, where they just give themselves 1,000,000 auras and some kind of effect that has Culling Strike, which instantly kills any enemy below 20%, and then they just have the Culling Strike hit things so that they can get extra stuff out of killing enemies, but they don't actually contribute to killing enemies. They just let everyone else do the fighting, and then they will help them out with auras, and then they swoop in at the end to actually get the kill to get extra juice. Ooh, bunch of orbs. Nice. Aha, I found the cache this time. Oh. What's another wisp? Do I get extra time from the wisp? I'm getting a lot of juice here. I'm gonna be juicing these boys in a dangerous way. Ooh! What is this? Different flavor of cachet, I suppose. Ah, no! Get me out of there. That's what freezing does to a man. Sticks you in place and almost kills you. Stop it. Care about any of these? Do any of these have like triple green or whatever? No. I do not care that much. It's been 2 hours. Yeah, I'll go for a bit longer. Bed. I mean, I'm not going to bed until like 4 a.m. anyways. Four hours later. No. I'll be alright. I want to at least clear Act 1. Not that far off from doing so. I'm a little further off if I keep going into these holes and getting lost. While item filters are super useful, I think it's funny there's a feature that points out how useless 90% of the items are. Yeah. Yeah. Just do not show me anything that does not fall within these criteria. And then, oops, most items are gone. I should probably just start with a semi-strict, or with a strict item filter at this point. I usually start with a semi-strict filter and then move up to strict later on. Well, I mean, some people just really like having truckloads of items drop. Although I believe that was a problem at one point of there would be some maps or instances or something like that that were so insanely profitable in terms of just like, they would give you so many item drops that if you tried to like actually look at all of the items that had dropped, you would crash the game. Because the game could not handle how many items you would put into the room. It hasn't been that way for a while. I'm pretty sure they have fixed that. I just remember seeing a Reddit post about it like 8 years ago. Back in my day, back when I first played this game, the game only had 3 acts. Nowadays, you whippersnappers. Ten acts? Come on. That's just greedy. I did enjoy how, when they introduced Act 5, they also introduced Acts 6 through 10. I remember it blowing my fucking mind, because it's just like, oh yeah, so you know how the game currently ends at Act 4? Well, with the next with the next major patch, we're introducing Act 5. And also... Acts 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, that is the whole. Great. Charisma. I used to be reserving 31 mana. Now I am only reserving 27. Yeah, instead of just replaying the 4 acts on higher difficulties, now there's just one central game that gets harder over the full course of it. Which is pretty cool. I understand some people having issues where it's just like, oh, the game is just actually too hard for me to make it all the way through the main story. And I understand, but also I am broadly a fan of the 10-act structure. God, fucking chill, stop slowing me. I wanted to reveal the area. Oh god. No, 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 stop. Act 3 is still your favorite? What's my favorite act? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. It's been a while since I really thought too much about an act, because, you know, once you've played the game a lot, then the acts are mostly just a formality of getting to the maps, because that's when most builds really start fully functioning. Studiopolis. Is it Studiopolis or Studiopolis? Surely Studiopolis, right? Is it Hydro City or Hydrocity? Ooh, rare rings. Yeah, they also just cut some, like, small areas that didn't really impact anything when they added 5 to 10. 5 to 10 just made the whole game a lot better. Yeah, I'm definitely not a huge fan of 4, because most of it is just going through mines or meat mines. I think 4 might be my least favorite. 5 is pretty cool. I like 5 a lot because of the world state change that happens. I think that's a really cool thing. Like a crude bow that I can trade in for a chromatic orb. Yeah, getting to fight Piety is pretty great. I should have kept those gloves, because now I have a shirt that has... the shirt is worse than my current shirt, I think. I might hold on to this shield once I switch over. Still don't remember when I get Poisonous Concoction, but... You know what? Sure. Let's get some resists. Yeah, Act 3 is neat, but I think I am. I'm also just like completely desensitized to Act 1. I don't think I can form coherent thoughts about Act 1 anymore. Yeah, Lunaris Temple is really cool. Act 1 is the rogue encampment in Diablo 2. Yeah, it's just like, I have done this so many times. I have just lost all sense of anything that makes it unique or interesting. Because even the times where I start playing and then I'm like, actually I'm not into it this league. Even those times I will still, you know, usually I'll tap out at like mid Act 2, Act 3, thereabouts. If I am not going to get all the way to maps. I don't know if I have had a build since they introduced Act 5 to 10 where I got to Act 5 and did not make it all the way to maps. I think usually if I quit before that point. Funky to me. You know what? Let's drop these. I'll drop the chromatics because I'm gonna pick them back up. And then... Aww. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Well, actually, it's increased max life. It's still better than what I have. Sweet. And now I have a cool hat that you can't see because I'm wearing a cooler hat in the cosmetic slot. Ooh. That's probably why Lawyer Dog likes this game so much. It's a game about collecting orbs. No town portal scrolls? No, there are. Portal scroll. They're hanging out down there by the... identify. You can get a gem that gives you a skill that just opens up a town portal, which can be handy. But I don't remember if there's a way to craft one, like with a vendor recipe or anything like that, like if there's any guaranteed way to get one. Yeah, I think you just have to find one, which they are quite rare. I feel like usually between me and Lawyer Dog and maybe Rand playing, we will come across like 1 or 2 portal gems over the course of a league. But even though they're like kind of rare, they're not super expensive if you buy them from other players. And that's like one of the worst parts about the game is the trade system. Because the developers really don't want an auction house because they don't want to make it that easy to trade between other players because they believe that it will reduce the value, like the perceived value of loot, which I think is a little ridiculous. And as a result, in order to trade in this game, usually what you do is you go to a site, and it's a first-party site. It's on the official Path of Exile website, and you look through listings, and you pick you choose a listing, and then you copy and paste a little tell into chat, and it'll like send a whisper to that player saying, hey, I want this item, and then they invite you to a party, and you go to their hideout, and then you trade the item for the currency, and then you leave. And it's a bad system. Well, I mean, in Diablo 3, the auction house was like the real currency auction house, that thing that people hated so much, right? And, like, it's not hard to trade with other players, it's just so much more effort and steps than it should be. And it's especially bad because it's not automated in any way. If the player that has the item that you want is just AFK, or if they are like a bot that is trying to run down the price of an item or something, then you whisper them and you just get no response and you just don't get the item. Yeah, a grand exchange or something. Be nice. Okay, Fairgrave's not that far back. I need to stir my tea because I forgot to stir my tea earlier, so I've been drinking half-sweetened tea all evening. Yeah, one sec. Because I still have a tea bag in here too, so I've got over-steeped, slightly cold, unstirred tea. Like a fucking champion. That's how you know you've got a person with drive. Person who really cares about their lot in life. Makes me think of a quote from a mangaka that I had read at some point. I don't remember who it was. It was one of the big ones. But it was just like, I'm the kind of person that if I get eraser shavings in my tea, I drink it anyways. And I never quite knew how to take that quote of just like, does that mean you just don't care, or does that mean you're just so busy that you don't really have the time, like you just don't want to spend the time to make a new mug of tea, or what? I don't know. Yeah, Captain Fairgraves has a real fight now. He sends out waves of minions, and then he shows up and he's got like interesting abilities. It's crazy. It used to be like you would bring him the All Flame that he asked you to get, and then he's just like, Gahar, I'm evil, and then you just dumpster him in 5 seconds. Increased amount recovered. That's what we were looking for. Yeah, baby. I don't think I care about the old one. Oh boy, Orb of Fusing. So, if you're gonna get into this game, you're gonna become real fucking familiar with Jeweler's Orb and Orb of Fusing. Because Jeweler's Orb re-rolls the number of sockets on an item, because an item can drop with a varying number of sockets. For a chest piece, once you get, like, certain item level items can only have up to certain numbers of sockets, but once you get to the end game, your chest piece can have 6 sockets, and usually that's where your main skill is going to live. So you need to re-roll the number of sockets until you get 6 sockets, and then re-roll the number, re-roll how many of them are linked together with Orbs of Fusing until all of them are linked together, and then re-roll the colors of the sockets with chromatic orbs until all of the colors are exactly right. And there are ways of making that whole process not RNG based, but doing so will often require like a lot of investment in certain mechanics. Like you need to do a lot of this specific content in order to get access to a table that lets you trade in, like, get specific results. You can get the portal gem through divination cards dropped in breaches. Ah, neat. Ooh, suppress. So, quick step, plus 10% chance to suppress spell damage. 50% of damage from suppressed hits and ailments they inflict is prevented. And also, it gives me move speed. Yay. Yeah, so, Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about? So it's like, you want a bunch of gems put into linked sockets because you have your one good skill. Like, you have the skill, the thing that you actually use, and then you link it, you, like, support it with as many gems as you can. So the more support gems you support a skill with, the better the skill becomes. So it's like, if you only have 5 sockets in a piece of gear, then you can only have, like, the skill and then 4 support gems. But that 5th support gem can improve a skill dramatically. Like, it can increase your DPS by fucking millions in like, extreme cases. Yeah, I'm currently shooting 5 arrows with each use of my skill because I am supporting it with 2 different support gems that increase the number of projectiles it fires. Which makes it deal a lot more damage. Because, like, even if each individual arrow, like, even if I don't hit one enemy with all of the arrows, the pools of toxic ooze that it creates underneath them can overlap, and that gives them extra damage. Wildwood greeting. Hello. Whoa. Oh. Am I not high enough level for all these? Oh yeah. How about that? Yeah, I think there's just an item level requirement for how many sockets you can have on an item, and then any amount of sockets that you can have in an item can become linked. But there's also some, like, weird corner case situations where it's like, I think the quality of an item can influence the likelihood of rolling 6 sockets when using an Orb of Fusing. And, like, even for, like, even if you gain access to a thing that will let you guaranteed put a certain number of sockets on an item, usually just like you're trying to get a 6 link is usually what you're looking for. Even the situations where you will have a guaranteed way to link all 6 of the sockets, usually those will cost a gigantic number of orbs of fusing, which are the ones that you use to randomly re-roll the number of linked sockets. And I believe, like, statistically, you are less likely to use as many orbs of fusing as are required to get that number of linked sockets. Like, you pay a cost of extra orbs to guaranteed get it, because it's RNG, so it could cost, like, what, 1,200 orbs of fusing to guaranteed get a 6 link, but the likelihood of you getting a 6 link just by using orbs of fusing, like, you are statistically likely to get one within 1,000. So, do you want to just roll the dice? Do you want to gamble? Do you believe? Or do you just want to, like, pay the extra cost and have a guaranteed result? Yeah, there are various ways that you can, like, guaranteed get a 6 link. There are ways that you can guaranteed get certain modifiers on items and so on and so forth, but that's what makes the end game of this game, like, that's part of why people really keep coming back to it, even after all these years, but also it's kind of a separating factor between the average player and, like, a high-level player is just not even necessarily mechanical skill of just, like, moving their character around well, but knowing how to use all of the weird niche mechanics to get the absolute best gear. Yeah, tabula rasa. One of the most popular unique items is a chest piece. It is a unique chest piece, and it has no stat requirements and no level requirement, and it has no defenses and no modifiers, but it has 6 linked white sockets guaranteed. And white sockets can have a gem of any color, so tabula rasa is pretty popular for just being like, well, I'm not getting any mechanical benefit, or, like, I'm not getting any defenses out of my chest piece or anything like that, but I am guaranteed going to have, like, all of the support gems for my main skill that I want. So, usually people will stop using it once they get to... Woo! Chaos! Chaos. I'm here to find chaos. But yeah, usually people will stop using it once they start getting into mapping and stuff, because not having any defenses on your chest piece is losing out on a lot of defenses. And it is decently likely that enemies will curb stomp you if you do not have decent defenses. But generally speaking, if you know what you're doing, like, you can easily just use the tabula rasa all the way until you start doing endgame content, because your active skill is just going to be so much better from having a guaranteed 6 link. It is a little awkward because extra support gems will also increase the mana cost of skills. So if you don't have, like, any way of generating extra mana or anything like that, any way of dealing with the extra mana cost of the skill, then sometimes you don't actually want a 6 link right away. Sometimes 5 is okay, because it is more important that you can actually use your ability than just being able to use it, like, once and then have to chug a potion in order to use it one more time. Mana leech, yeah. There are ways of getting around that problem, for sure. Such is the case with many problems in this game. Also, Dan, I know I was not going to go that much longer, but I just want to finish Act 1, and I am in one of the final areas of Act 1, so... It's just taking a bit longer because I'm doing these side areas. And also I'm playing slow because I'm just talking. I'm not focusing on the game. Get somewhere dark before my thing goes off to get optimal value. What's that? Withering Step, sure. Multiple projectiles, sure. I didn't want to click that. Man, this sucks. This is probably for the best because it was going to take me a while to kill like all of the enemies in that map, or in that sub area, but I wanted to kill those enemies in that area though. She project my aisle till I instantly die. Sure. Oh yeah, so even though there's so much more Path of Exile nonsense I could talk about, one of the reasons why I started so late tonight was I was playing a game of Commander, which is Magic the Gathering if you're not familiar, and I was looking forward to playing Commander today, like all week. I was so excited because we got some new pre-constructed Commander decks. And one of them is based off of clue tokens, which is really cool. You can sacrifice them to draw cards, but also to do other nonsense. And I was just so excited to play this deck. And I had devoted myself to playing the deck without changing out any of the cards in it until I had played one game with it. And I played that one game with it, and I played a card that was going to, like, I was very close to just winning the game without dealing, like, any damage to any other player. Because I played a card that says, enchant a thing, make an extra thing at the start of each of your turns, and then if you have 8 of those things after you make an extra thing, then you win the game. And I played that, and it almost got to my turn, but I got hella killed, because nobody had a way to get rid of the thing that was going to make me win the game, but they had a way to get rid of me. And then while they were finishing the rest of that game, I immediately went and got some of the cards that I wanted to put into the deck, and I just immediately started switching out the cards, and so by the time that first game ended, I was ready for game 2. And I actually got to play a bunch of the cards that I switched out, and had a great time. And won the game! It was a lot of fun. I made so many tokens. I drew so many cards. I drew so many lands. I drew so few cards that actually did anything, but it ended up working in my favor because nobody wanted to kill me more than they wanted to kill anyone else at the table. So I was able to just squeeze enough blood from the stone that was all of the cards that I had managed to draw. And I did it. I made some snakes unblockable, and I killed some people. Yeah, Burke killed me with a card called Prisoner's Dilemma, and I saw it coming from a mile away, and I knew there was nothing I could do about it because I knew that Burke would really want to play the card that's called Prisoner's Dilemma. That is just prisoners. It is just the Prisoner's Dilemma. It's just that thing, but a magic card. I almost won that first game. But Burke killed me. Yeah, it's so fucked up that the ghost that's a detective that says, just one more thing. That card is not in the deck that's all about making clues and investigating. It makes me so sad. Like, mechanically it makes sense, but flavor-wise it is a complete fail. Ooh. Look at this cool effect on this guy's cape, though. With this group, the 12 damage to everyone result is never happening. Yeah, no. We are smart enough to work through the Prisoner's Dilemma. I didn't break the game. I just made a bunch of tokens. I made a bunch of clues. I made some foods. I made some snakes. I made some thopters. I had a great time. Must have been a long game. So the first game was not super duper long. It was hour and a half, thereabouts. And then the second game was like 4 hours. Anyways, tonight was destined to be a shorter stream because I ended up in a 4-hour Commander game. Oops. But also I was, like, kind of out of it for a little bit, but I'm glad I got to talk about Path of Exile again, because this game is fun. I know it's not super popular for viewers, but I enjoy Path of Exile because even if I'm not talking about the game mechanics, which there's so many fucking mechanics to talk about, then I can just kind of zone out and just kill dudes and talk about, like, anime or whatever. One game was 4 hours. Yeah, well, part of it was 3 of us were using decks that we had never... Like, I had only played that deck once before, and it was immediately before that game happened. So, like, it was basically my first time playing the deck. It was the first time Burke was playing his deck. It was the first time that Cult was playing his deck. Acker was playing his usual deck, but it had an extremely slow start, so it just took a while for anything to happen. It was just a very slow game, in addition. Even if we were taking our turns much faster than we were, there was not a ton happening early on. I mean, Burke did hit Acker for 14, but then he did not go in for the kill. Yeah, Cult was tired and was playing a very complicated deck. And I didn't let him play a land on someone else's turn. And he was cross about that. Love you, Cult. Upcoming streams. I don't have a specific plan for Monday at the moment. I think I mentioned something that I was considering playing on Monday at the end of last stream. I might go check the VOD just to see what Past Me was up to, because I'm tired right now and I can't think of what it was going to be. So Monday is a little up in the air. Tuesday is going to be more Like a Dragon Gaiden, which I am super excited for. Next Thursday, I think we're going to be switching off of Final Fantasy 16. I know there are some extremely cool boss fights, but man, there's a lot of slow downtime nothing in that game, even though the combat is super fun. So I don't think I'm going to follow through on streaming the rest of that. Maybe I will, maybe I'll just feel like it, but I'm thinking that next Thursday I might start a game. I'm thinking Mega Man Battle Network 3, or Bayonetta 2, or Devil May Cry, because I have been wanting to play through the whole Devil May Cry series. I might start that on Thursday. On Thursday, I'm going to start something that's going to take multiple streams. And then next Saturday... I don't know. I'm sorry. I have been pretty bad. I'm not great about planning streams in general, but I have been especially not great for the past little while, and I apologize. But regardless of what I am going to be playing on these streams, I hope you all will show up and enjoy on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday evenings. Thanks again to Ash for the gift sub, and who is still streaming at 1 o'clock in the morning. Puko is currently streaming something? It says Poppy Playtime, but I'm looking at the thumbnail and I have no idea what the fuck this is. It could be Poppy Playtime. I don't think I've ever actually watched any of that game, but... yeah, I might do some more Cobalt Core sometime in the near future, because that game's a lot of fun. Just not on a day where I've played like 6 hours of Magic the Gathering. But yeah. Thanks again, everyone, for showing up and hanging out and chatting and all that good stuff, and hopefully I will see you all again on Monday. Have a good one.